Good morning, children. Today we are going to read the next half of the story, Jack and the Beanstalk. The name of this part of the story is Jack Discovers a New Land. So, children, let's begin the story. When the beanstalk ended, Jack found himself in front of a great castle with a broad road leading straight up to the front gate. As he drew near the castle, he saw a huge lady standing at the door. Jack was scared at the sight of the lady, but he asked, "Would you please, ma'am, give me some breakfast? I have had nothing to eat since yesterday." So, very politely, Jack asked the huge lady to give him some breakfast. Now, children, castle. Castle is a huge palace in which kings and queens used to live. There is a phrase at the sight of. It means on seeing someone. So when Jack saw the huge lady, at that time he felt very scared. Let's move on. The giant's wife was very kind. She said, "Very well, little man. Come in, but you must be quick about it. If my husband the giant finds you here, he will eat you up, bones and all. Here is a cup of milk and some sandwiches." Suddenly, there was a loud knock at the front door, which seemed to shake even the thick walls of the castle. Giant's wife quickly lifted Jack up and popped him into an empty kettle. When her husband roared out, "Fee, fee, fo, fum, I smell the blood of a young one. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." So, when Jack was having his breakfast, at that time there was a huge knock on the door, and there was a giant who was standing there and he smelled the blood of the boy. Let's move on. "It's a boy, I'm sure it is." He continued. "Where is he? I will have him for my breakfast." "Nonsense," said his wife. "You must be mistaken. It's the ox's hide you smell." So here there are some pink words like grind. Grind means to crush. Mistaken means to be wrong. And ox's hide is the skin of an ox. So the giant's wife said that you are mistaken. It's not a boy. It's ox's hide which you smell. Let's move on. Thus the giant sat down and ate a greater part of the ox. When he had finished, he said, "Wife, bring me my money bags." His wife brought him 2 bags of gold, and the giant began to count his money. Let's move on to the next page. Jack watched in wonder at all that was happening. So, wonder means to be surprised. So, he was very surprised to see whatever things were happening there. Let's move on. The giant then asked his wife to fetch his little hen, which laid golden eggs. The hen laid 20 golden eggs. After the giant had put the eggs into the basket, he called out, "Wife, bring me the golden lyre." Now, what is fetch? Fetch means to bring. The giant asked his wife to bring the little hen. And lyre. Lyre is a kind of musical instrument which has got strings on it. You can see in the picture. His wife brought the golden lyre and placed it on the table. "Sing," said the giant, and the lyre at once began to sing the most beautiful song that ever were heard. It sang so sweetly that the giant soon fell fast asleep. Seeing that the giant was fast asleep, Jack crept quietly out of the kettle and tiptoed to the table. Now, here crept means walked very silently, very quietly. He came out of the kettle, and tiptoed means very silently he walked to the table on his toes. He gathered the money bags and the little hen. He put them into a large bag, and just as he lifted the golden lyre, the hen called out, "Master, master!" The giant woke up just in time to catch sight of Jack running out of the kitchen door with his money and hen. Now, here there is a phrase to catch sight of, which means to see someone or to see something. So, suddenly the giant saw Jack running out of the kitchen door. Let's move on. With a fearful roar, he screamed, "Fee, fee, fo, fum, I spy a country bum. He is alive, but will soon be dead when I grind his bones to make my bread. He grabbed his club and dashed after Jack, who was already halfway down the beanstalk. The giant began to climb down too, but as soon as Jack saw him coming, he called out, "Mother, bring me an axe." So when the giant saw Jack escaping with his hen, lyre, and money bag, he roared and he screamed. Screamed means he shouted loudly that soon he is going to kill Jack and he will use all his bone and everything to make his bread. Let's move on. In the next paragraph, there is a club. Club is a heavy stick which is generally used to play golf. So here club is used for a heavy stick which is thick at one end. Dashed. Dashed means the giant ran fast behind Jack. But Jack was already halfway down the beanstalk. So the moment Jack saw giant coming down behind him, he called out to his mother to bring him an axe. Now what is an axe? You can see in this picture right hand side top, Jack is holding axe in his hand. It is a kind of thing which is used to chop wood or cut trees. Let's move on. Jack had no sooner reached the ground when he chopped the beanstalk. Down came the giant with a terrible crash, and that was the end of him. Now chopped means he cut the beanstalk and the giant came down with a terrible crash. Terrible means very horrible and very bad crash. So he fell down from the beanstalk and he was dead. With the bags of gold and little hen, Jack and his mother helped the entire village. All the villagers blessed them and lived happily ever after. So in this way we have completed this entire fairy tale, Jack and the Beanstalk. Now children, every story teaches us something. What do we learn from this story? Now in the first part of the story, I had told you that Jack had taken a huge risk. The risk was that Jack had sold his cow for just a handful of beans without knowing what magical powers they had and how they are going to help him. In the same way, in this part also, Jack was not afraid of climbing the beanstalk. He controlled his fear and finally he got all the treasures which he used for the betterment of his village. Now children, in this way we are done with both the parts of this chapter. Now let's move on to the comprehension part. Question number A. Complete the following sequence of events. The first one has been done for you. Now first one is done. Jack's mother threw the seeds outside. After that, a giant beanstalk grew outside Jack's window, and after that, he climbed and reached a big castle. Same way, let's do the second part. The giant finished breakfast. Second part, he called for the money bags, and then will be he began to count his money. Third one, it laid 20 eggs. So before that, what happened? We have to write that. Giant called for the little hen. After that, it laid 20 golden eggs. After that, the giant put them in a basket. Fourth one, then his wife brought the golden lyre. After that, what happened? The golden lyre sang the song. Then the giant went to sleep. Fifth one, Jack took all the three things with him in a bag. After that, the giant chased him with a club. After that, what happened? Jack climbed down and chopped the beanstalk, and the giant fell down and died. Now let's move on to the next question. Think and answer the following questions. Question number 1. What did Jack see when he climbed up the beanstalk? So the answer is, Jack saw a great castle with a broad road leading to the front gate when he climbed up the beanstalk. Question number 2. What did the giant say when he entered his castle? The answer is, the giant said that he could smell the blood of a young one. Question number 3. How did his wife save Jack? Answer is, giant's wife saved Jack by hiding him in an empty kettle. Question number 4. How did Jack get away from the giant? Answer. When the giant was asleep, Jack crept quickly out of the kettle and ran away. Question number 5. What words would you use to describe Jack? So we have to write some words which describes Jack. The answer is, Jack was a clever boy. He dared to fool the giant and ran away with all his treasure. Let's move on to the next one. Find the opposite of the following words from the story. So we have to find out the opposite words of these words. Number 1 is narrow. So the opposite of narrow is broad. Tiny, huge. Quiet, loud. Full, empty. Spread, gather. Next is language structure. Masculine and feminine. Children, masculine nouns are words which we use for men, boys and male animals. Whereas feminine nouns are the words which we use for women, girls and female animals. So let's find the other gender form of the given nouns. Like mother, opposite gender form of mother will be father. Now here princess is given. So other gender form of princess will be prince. Tiger, tigress. Cock, hen. Mare, so we have to write horse in the fifth blank. Sixth is nephew, niece. Seventh is uncle and aunt. Eighth is son and daughter. Now next is B. Spellings. Correct the following spellings and write them in the space provided. So children, here the words are already given. You have to write the correct spelling of these words. The first one is listening. Second is followed. Third is shining. Fourth is grammar. Fifth worried. Sixth continue. Seventh is column. Eighth is panic. So you will write the correct spelling of these words. Now let's move on to Grammarly. Use of is, am, are. These are helping verbs. These are not main verbs. Main verbs are action words. So these are called as helping verbs. Now is generally used with singular person, animal or thing. If it is one, singular means one. Am is generally used with I. And are is used for plurals. When we are talking about many people, we are talking about many animals or many things. So based on this information, let's do question number A. Fill in the blanks in the following sentences using is, am and are. Question number 1. The dog dash in the kennel. So how many dogs are there? One dog. So here we will use is. The dog is in the kennel. Second, I dash very happy today. With I we use am. So I am very happy today. Third, this box dash very heavy. How many boxes are there? Only one box. So we will use is. This box is very heavy. The birds dash in the nest. So how many birds are there? Many. So here we will use are. The birds are in the nest. Fifth, you dash looking good. With you also we use are only. You is no word. So you are looking good. Sixth, people dash praying to God. So singular is person and its plural form is people. So people is plural word. So people are praying to God. Now let's move on to use of was and were. Children, these are also helping verbs which are used in the past tense. Past tense means the time which is already gone. Was is used with singular nouns and were is generally used with plural nouns or pronouns. You is the only pronoun where we always use were if it is used in the past form. Now based on this information, let's do this next question. Question number B. Rewrite the following incorrect sentences by using was, were correctly. Question number 1. Rohit were absent yesterday. So Rohit is only one person. We will use was here. Rohit was absent yesterday. Second, they was not happy. They we use for many people. So many people are there. So we will not use was. Was is used with singular noun or pronoun. So they were not happy. Third, the room were small. Now we are talking about one particular room. So here it will be was. The room was small. Fourth, yesterday were a holiday. We are talking about only one day, which is yesterday. So yesterday was a holiday. I were eating a chocolate. I is only one person. So I was eating a chocolate. You was Writing a letter. I told you with you we generally use were only. So you were writing a letter. Use of has, have and had. Now children, has, have and had are also helping verbs. They tell us what persons, animals and things possess. Possesses means what they have. Has is always used with singular nouns or pronouns except I and you. Have is always used with all the plural nouns and pronouns. Have is also used with I and you. Had is used with all the plural nouns and pronouns when we are talking only in the past tense. Past tense means things which are already happened. The time is gone. Based on this information, let's do question number C. Choose the correct options from the brackets to complete the following sentences. Question number 1. A year dash 12 months. So a year. So here it will be has. Second, yesterday I dash a headache. Yesterday is already gone. It is in the past tense. So yesterday I had a headache. Third, you dash 10 rupees. So with you we generally use have. You have 10 rupees. 4. Parul dashed 2 cars last year. Now we are talking about last year. It has already happened in the past tense. So Parul had 2 cars last year. Fifth, those men dash big houses. So those men, many people are there, plural. So those men have big houses. Sixth, bananas do not dash seed. We are talking about many bananas. It is in the plural form. So we will write bananas do not have seeds. Seventh, we dash our lunch in the afternoon. So we have already eaten our lunch. So we had our lunch in the afternoon. Many people are there. We is not a single person. So here we will use had. Eighth, she dash long hair. She is one person. So she has long hairs. And this way we are done with part C. Listen and tell, be creative, talk time. All these activities you will do by yourself. In case you have any doubt related to the comprehension or grammar part, please feel free to write in the comment box. I will try my best to answer your queries. All the best, children.